Okay, so welcome to Squares of the Roundtable podcast, episode 142. My name is Jeff Stein. With me is Mike Edwin.
Yo.
Mike Edwin. God, I can't believe I just did that.
That's our intern. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. That's our intern. We have Mike Boyle with us.
Uh-huh.
And then we have Ivan Rivera, or Ivan Boyle, or Ivan Edwin. Ivan Edwin.
Edwin Ivan.
Edwin Ivan. Maybe he's our other intern, Edwin Ivan. There we go.
Edwin Ivan.
Yeah. All right. So yeah.
How was your Passover? How was your weekend? The Holy Weekend.
Ivan's dying. Is this the show where
must
we
be
kill
the fumes
Ivan?
from the car exhaust that just went by.
Yeah, really.
Caught in like a Hanna-Barbera black smoke.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
all you see are the whites of my eyes, man.
Yeah, courtesy of the Chicago Police Department. There we go.
Hey, officer. What's up, dude?
Yeah, I'm sure that'll go well.
Yeah,
let's see. What was this week? So ironically, I'm guesting on another podcast this week.
Yay!
Oh, cool.
I'm actually the guest on a podcast this week called The Accidental Badass, which, if anybody wants to check out, be my guest. So I was their guest this week, and that's a little bit different. And then let's see what else. Sunday Night Stories. We had Sunday Night Stories. We had three really great storytellers, and at the last minute I had somebody does not make it, so yours truly's got to tell a story. So that's kind of unique and different. And I've been busy a lot with clients and new opportunities, and been quite busy, and got through a third year in a row of the Passover stuff without anything getting screwed up. And I'm trying to think of anything else. I caught Ivan. Boom.
What?
I don't know. I heard a noise. It sounded like you fell or something like that.
No.
You.
No, I'm sitting right here.
Okay. It was like, I'm like, I thought, oh my God, Ivan's fallen and he can't get up. We can't have that.
No. I'm watching the planes go by.
Are you eating?
What's
A
for
little
dinner?
bit. What? Flavor twist.
Flavor twist. What's a flavor twist?
You don't know what a flavor twist? It's Fritos Flavor Twist Honey Barbecue.
Oh, well, okay, so they're Fritos.
Yeah, flavor twist.
Have you ever heard this before, Mike?
No, Fritos. Yeah, it's like they're not flat. They're like a crinkle.
No,
cut
I know
French fry.
I know Fritos, but flavor twist? I've never heard flavor twist.
Yeah, they're like a spiral, almost like a rotini.
Yeah, and very tasty.
Well, okay.
It's like a cinnamon twist, kind of, but they're salty.
Okay. Yeah, cinnamon twists are overrated.
Yeah, I got tired of them like the first year they came out at Taco Bell. I'm like, nah.
What, the cinnamon twist?
Yeah, from Taco Bell. Yeah.
Yeah, that wore off quick.
Yeah.
I mean,
flavor twists are all the rage now, Jeff.
I mean,
yeah. Twist.
Yeah, if it comes in the $5 box, then okay, sure, great, fine, whatever. But otherwise, it's like I'm not ordering them. Otherwise, and that's the only reason I even get them anytime is it's like, well, it comes with it. It's like, well, okay, $5, I get everything else, sure, why not? Otherwise, I don't know that I would ever want cinnamon twists because they're not very, and they get everywhere and they're really messy. I don't know.
Depends on your bag. Sometimes you get them, they're really, really sweet.
I guess, maybe. I don't know. I don't really feel like they're all that great. I did get a chance to see the next. So I guess with Invincible, they're now releasing them once a week. And
what episode are you up to now?
So I'm up to episode 4. Well, there only been 4 episodes,
Okay.
so I'm up to episode 4.
Right, that's what you said. They dropped the first 3.
Right, they dropped the first 3, and it looks as though they're basically going to do the episodes one week at a time the rest of the way, or at least so far. So, if they're supposedly, I think they said there's 8 episodes. I could be wrong about this. If that's the case, so there's another, there's probably another month worth of shows. So, but yeah, it's been fun. The best way to describe Invincible is, he's got a little bit of the Greatest American Hero because he still can't figure out how to land properly. And then, but really in reality, his personality reminds me a lot of your Dick Graysons or your Peter Parkers, that kind of Spider-Man kind of mentality in terms of character and likeness, except with some tweaks and some differences. Fun character, fun show. I've enjoyed it. Again, I continue to be. My problem is I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give a lot away. But it's fun because again, he's learning how to be a superhero half the time. So he makes a lot of mistakes, which makes it really funny and hysterical. Like, I think I could give this away. Like, in this episode, they end up going up to Mars, and
nice.
All he's got to do is watch the astronauts, because nothing will happen while he gets up there. And of course something happens, and he has to get them off the planet really fast. And he's supposed to do this covertly so that nobody knows that he's there. And of course that doesn't happen either. So go figure. But yeah, it
sounds like Greatest American Hero 2.0.
Well, no, keep in mind he's a teenager, so it's like he just literally have just gotten his powers, and so he's a teenager. He doesn't know what he's doing half the time. Plus, he's a teenager, and he does have powers, and he's very powerful. But he's a teenager, and he's still trying to figure it all out a little bit.
All the powers,
and there's violence, and this is edgy.
Yeah, it definitely is not for kids.
Yeah, it's not for kids.
It's not for kids. It's R-rated. It is R-rated. So,
lots of swear.
Yeah, there's a lot of violence. There's a lot of they show like
superheroes killing people in nasty ways.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Is it Deadpool heavy?
Well, it's more graphic than like Deadpool typically. Although Deadpool can get kind of gory.
Yeah, I don't know that I go that far. It's not. Well, they get graphic, but I wouldn't say graphic more gory. They don't go like some of the sex stuff like that.
It's just really bloody, gory. Hands flying, body parts going everywhere.
Yeah, they do. They do reference stuff that would be in the Deadpool frame of mind, but not very much, and they don't show it, and it's a lot more tasteful.
Okay, so
it's not tongue in cheek.
Okay, understood.
They're not gonna have a scene where like he's getting done with a freaking strap on in the middle. That stuff's not happening.
Oh no, the kid's not gonna be shown pegging anybody. That's not cool.
Well, or anything like the baby hand thing. That stuff's not happening. So, but yeah, like I said, it's a solid watch. They're good. It's a good between 45 minutes to an hour, and they're solid episodes, and no commercials. It's on Amazon Prime. You can check it out, and like I said, I've enjoyed it so far. It's worth a watch, and the episodes are as much as they're an hour, they don't feel like an hour. They feel fun, and the interesting part is that they are doing a lot of plot development in it. So, there's the A plot, the B plot, the C plot, there's D plot. It does have the little bit of that feel of old school comics of where they're plotting out for future things that could happen down the road as well.
Right, where things might come to a convergence or a conclusion later in the series.
Right, or like even, when season 2 hits or whatever, because I'm going to imagine season 2 is already a go. But yeah, and like I said, what's his name? The guy who plays J. Jonah Jameson. I can't remember his name.
J.K.
right now.
Simmons.
Yeah, he's in it. Sandra Oh is in it. Zachary what's his name? The guy who
Spock. The new Spock.
Spock.
Abram Spock.
Yeah, the new Spock. Abram Spock. He's in it too. It's a solid cast. It's a really solid cast they have in there, and it's worthwhile. And it's the characters are interesting. Some of them are character, are based off of. You can tell where some of the characters would be like, okay, that's kind of if you took this character and that character and put them together, it'd be this character.
Right. This guy's kind of an Aquaman. This one's kind of a Wonder Woman.
Kind of a hybrid off of the content of the superheroes and things.
Well, some of their derivative.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Or even more than that, where it's like, the best way to put it would be if you took and I'm just using this as an example. If you took, and Mike will know these characters better, I think, than Ivan will. Like if you took the Demon and mixed him with the Question.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
Well, Ivan knows the Question
character
from Justice League.
Right. So that's
such a position of characters.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one character that's been created, just to give an idea. But yeah. But yeah, it's like I said, it's a solid. If you've got Amazon Prime and you can get to it, I've really enjoyed it. I have not gotten to Godzilla and Kong yet, and but I'll get to it eventually. Here, I just I can't remember what I did.
You've got Amazon. Have you watched any of the Tick?
I did.
Did you watch both seasons?
I gotta be honest. I can't remember where it stopped. What episode in the first season?
Oh, okay.
And I was just like,
yeah.
I just wasn't feeling it.
Didn't grab you? Okay.
No, well, it grabbed me. It grabbed me in the wrong places.
Oh.
Okay.
I just didn't find it.
Yeah,
I just didn't
it doesn't
find
have the same vibe as the
entertaining.
cartoon, that's for sure.
No, and I think that's my problem.
Yeah, that was the charm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good and it's solid, but it's not the cartoon. And in fairness, that's the problem I have with watching it is it's without question. It's like, this is not the cartoon. The cartoon is way better. Why didn't you follow the cartoon? That would have been more interesting.
I think the situation with that, Jeff, is that you have people that are familiar with the cartoon, and they get all the in jokes, and they get all the setups, and they get up everything. Spoon, and all the rest of that.
Yeah.
But
not
the thing
face,
about it,
not the face. Yeah.
Yes. So here's the thing, okay? When you're trying to recreate something, to try to make it in its exact imagery or in its exact execution, okay? Wouldn't that be like having a rerun of live action?
No, but they go away from a lot of the characterizations in places.
Okay,
and
so they kind of
let's put this where it is.
All right.
The tick at this point. I mean, I don't remember when the Amazon show came out, but I want to call it mid 2000s.
3 years ago, 4 years ago.
3-4 years ago?
I think so.
Okay, so even then we're talking about close to 20 years.
Yeah, we watched it at Brian Emmer's house a couple of years ago when we had one of the DairyCon meetups.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's been the cartoon's almost been 20 years. There's a lot, seriously, there are a lot of kids who don't know that there was ever a Tick cartoon. I mean, it's talked about by people who are Gen X and maybe some millennials, but it's
become canon. It's become canon in those generations, whereas now it's like, okay, if you would have told me about it, I would have never known it.
Well, that's what I mean. But years. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I just felt like I wasn't looking for it to be exact. I was looking for it
more
to
identify with.
Yeah, I like I said, I was looking more for. I don't know. It just didn't grab me the way I wanted it to, and it wasn't
the word you're looking for. Familiarity.
Yeah, I just felt like it was missing something or lacking.
Oh, okay.
It's funny because I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, I kind of laugh. a different character, but similar vein, which is, I was thinking the other day about, and I can't remember when I watched that. I was like, yeah, that kind of has a similar vibe to me to the Spawn cartoon. And I'm like, God, the Spawn cartoon is so old now. The one from HBO.
Yeah, I
back
remember
in
that
the
HBO
early,
series, yeah.
Right, back in the...
It was late 90s, I think.
The late 90s.
I mean...
Yeah, that's when we were having remember, you, me, and Randy were having those Friday night anime nights.
Yes, that's right.
Was it the late 90s?
It was the late 90s, yeah.
Late 90s, yeah.
The late 90s.
Well, I mean, but that's what I mean. And it's funny because it's like, he has spent, Todd McFarlane has spent so much time, ever since there was that bad Spawn movie, McFarlane has spent so much time on trying to create a new live action. And I laugh because there's a part of me where I'm like, why don't you just do a new version of that series that you did on HBO that at this point, I mean, there has to be outlets that right now would kill to pay for a new Spawn anime streaming.
Seems like Todd is a little bit too much of a micromanager.
Also, too, he's also not a person that doesn't complete certain things. Like, he took on the assignment of the Flintstones that never saw the light of day.
No, that's Seth MacFarlane.
That's Seth MacFarlane. That's
Seth MacFarlane.
Not Todd McFarlane.
Seth. That's a different McFarlane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although they're currently, I think they started filming season 3 of The Orville, so I'm looking forward to that.
You're talking about Seth MacFarlane, the guy who's the head.
That's the Family Guy.
The Family Guy guy. And
Todd McFarlane created Spawn, and he's a different.
Yeah, Todd McFarlane is.
Oh, Todd McFarlane. Did he come out in Fortune 500? He said that the best person with the sense of humor, with the dirty sense of humor, was my mother. He had an article on that.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, that's not Todd McFarlane. That's probably Seth MacFarlane.
I don't know.
Todd McFarlane was back in the 90s. He was one of the original. Actually, technically, I believe he still is an owner of Image. He was one of the original Marvel artists that moved to create Image.
Right.
What is now Image Comics.
Yeah, the graphic novel, the Image brand.
Yeah, and then he's got McFarlane Toys, and he does. I know he's big on the toy business.
Yeah, don't get me started on that 7-inch DC line. Ugh.
Well, again, like I said, to me, I don't want to say. I just know that he, the toy thing is huge. Why bigger than the comics?
I'm curious, Jeff. I'm curious, Mike. Why are you so dismissive of the line?
Well, Todd McFarlane's figures, they're good on sculpt, but not much for posability. They'll look good on a shelf, but you can't pose them really well because they're just limited joints. He doesn't think that they need a lot of.
They're not articulated enough to.
No, and they're 7-inch, so they won't scale with the Marvel Legends or your Star Wars Black Series. They got to be a different size scale. So,
what's the standard?
The standard is 1/12 scale or 6-inch. He made his 7-inch because he thinks, it goes to 11. It's one higher, so it should be better.
No, because he's Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, he's Todd McFarlane. He's going to do what he wants. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, now you defeat you defeat the approximation of all the characters trying to line up when you got them.
If you got your DC and your Marvel on separate shelves, I guess you're good. But if you want to have Batman next to Captain America, Batman's going to be a good inch taller. So it's kind of anyway. But Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane. He's been trying to fix his Spawn franchise for quite a long time now.
Well, keep in mind too, the people who are probably, I shouldn't say this, I could be very wrong about this, but I think that part of the appeal about McFarlane doing the DC Comics line is that it's Todd McFarlane essentially creating artwork for DC, and that hasn't happened since like maybe the early 90s. I mean,
he's doing a better job than Mattel did, but it's just a matter of they made it 7 inches instead of 6.
There's a question I'd like to answer though. You guys would know it. Okay, if Todd McFarlane is making those characters, now are those in line with what they're doing with the comic book, the movies, or is it its own
I don't know.
I know he's made like a Thomas Wayne Flashpoint Batman, and he's done
it's whatever.
Yeah, or
it's whatever DC he sat down and said, "Hey, here's the characters we want you to create."
Okay, so
licensing with DC.
Okay, yeah. So DC has the first say of what McFarlane does as far as the
probably
the intrigue part of all of it is that essentially it's McFarlane designing those characters, and that means that really in reality it means that McFarlane isn't necessarily going with the exact designs of the characters. He's going with McFarlane creating art as McFarlane, because McFarlane's art is one of the great. I mean, as much as McFarlane gets his crap, McFarlane is one of the great artists in he's one of those guys where if tomorrow he said, "Hey, I'm going to do work for Marvel or DC," they would be selling easily over 6 figures in books right now. I mean, that's why Jim Lee is so popular. When Jim Lee does Superman or Batman, when he does that, it's 200,000 in sales. McFarlane would probably run at this point, considering the fact it's been so long since McFarlane has done. Well, no, it's not going to be millions because the direct market is not that big anymore. But there's enough people that would have enough intrigue just on the collector possibility alone, or just to have it, just to have McFarlane art when it comes to, because he hasn't really done any of that. In a long time.
Right. So here's my thing too. Okay, that McFarlane, basically McFarlaneized those DC characters, if I'm correct to say this here. And now, does DC get to use the McFarlaneized setups in any of their comic designs?
Probably not.
You got a truck going by, Ivan?
A car.
Okay. All right.
Got it. Yeah, I don't think so. Plus the fact they have to try to recreate the artwork, which I think would be difficult.
Because I'm just thinking about the cross merchandising thing between the two fields.
Yeah, they're not worried about that on that, believe it or not.
Okay, no. I mean, that's why I was just curious about that.
But I mean, really, at one point, McFarlane was like the guy when it comes to drawing Spider-Man. And really in reality, is it the mid-90s or is it, maybe it is the mid-90s. I shouldn't say that. It's before the mid-90s because McFarlane starts to Spawn. I'm trying to remember exactly where the numbers roll in terms of when that is, because it's been a while. But there was a period of time there in the early 90s when it's like, you had the Eric Larsons and you had those guys and all those guys who were doing all the Image stuff. Eventually would do all the Image stuff, but they were all over at Marvel, including Jim Lee. And
because Image upon itself, wiped out a whole lot of the graphic novel competition, back in the early 1990s. They did a good deal. I'm not saying that they overtook the situation. I'm just saying they took a big bite of that from Kitchen Sink and Fantagraphic and some of the other.
If you're looking at it from that perspective of the indies, yes.
Yeah.
Image became, Image without question, even today, is the solid number 3. It's in some ways. Image is the solid number 3.
Yeah, they broke up the 2-part monopoly that DC and Marvel had.
Right, and then Dark Horse kind of comes in at number 4, really, at this point.
I know I have to give you the Dark Horse because I know that Dark Horse picked up a lot of stuff from, Kitchen Sink, and then I guess they also put some money in the Fantagraphic. I think that went south kind of quick. But aside from that, I follow these same publishers as you do for your superhero things. I do for the adult, graphic stuff that I purchase that I possess.
Yeah, but that's even more niche than the mainstream.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's a very niche market, but it's no less it's not any less an imaginative department. I mean, I just see so many great new things coming out on that particular level. But then it's also nice to see a lot of these guys kicking back, towards the DC, towards the Marvel, and that's why, this whole point of the conversation, comic book wise. See, I'm more of a graphic novel reader than I am a comic book reader. So
I think look, technically one is, I always laugh about when people talk about it being a graphic novel. I mean, I almost at this point call it a trade paperback because you're essentially 9 times out of 10, depending on who it is, if it's the big companies, they're taking their leaflets and essentially, usually they're creating a trade paper out of it. Here's these issues and you can collect them and
here's volumes 1 through 4. We'll put them all together in one place. Here's our trade paperback. Yeah, that's
right. There are some specialized ones, and with the smaller companies, yes, there are more of those, and with Image, there's more of those. But even Image now sometimes is more. I shouldn't say it. I mean, sometimes they're about the leaflet, sometimes they're not. It just kind of depends.
Right, it depends on whatever product they're working on.
Well, I think the individual comics, I think they're all about selling number ones.
There's some truth to all that about the rebooting and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the trick is, and it's funny because the industry's starting to run into an interesting problem, which is, back in the 90s, one of the things that they started doing was it started to get a little too gimmicky. It started to get a little too gimmicky, and it started to be a little too much about the crazy covers and the artworks and all that stuff. And
that hasn't diminished, though.
Well, no, it kind of did for a while because it started to hurt the industry.
Yeah, exactly.
I've noticed in the world markets. Hold on. I've noticed in the world markets that you have they have the cover variants. That some people in Europe and in Germany, France, and everything. Because I follow Unnatural. I follow Agnes Bandilio from Italy. She's really good. And but yeah, I can see that they're still doing variant covers. In fact, sometimes they even do variant leaders, with just different covers, or sometimes they'll leave multiple covers within the comic book. They're still doing that.
They're doing it, but not to the extent where, not to the extent that what they were.
Is that more of a worldview, or do you think it's just?
No, it kind of depends. I mean, it really depends in some ways about what it is and what it's for and what they're doing. I'll just use this as an example. I know back when I was more regularly reading and Infinite Crisis was a thing, there was 2 sets of covers. There was the George Perez cover, and then there was the Jim Lee cover, which, no offense. It's like, do I want the awesome cover, or do I want the other awesome cover? Which awesome cover would I like?
Yes, exactly.
And I'm not going to lie. I ended up buying both because my reaction is, and I'm not usually a collector guy, but I'm like, I want both covers.
Yeah,
I want both covers.
Yeah. I got variants in my collection too. Yeah,
but look, in scenarios like that, it's like, okay, if you ask me which artists I would love to see draw covers, and you're giving me variant cover options of where you might twist my arm to get me to buy a variant cover, a second cover, it's probably going to be George Perez, and it's probably going to be Jim Lee. I mean, the only other names I can think of off the top of my head would be Alex Ross. Alex Ross would be obviously another one. And my favorite.
How about a one-off Tom McFarlane?
I'm sorry?
How about a one-off Tom McFarlane?
Depends on who it is and what it was. And that's the other thing. But I've seen some stuff where they're doing stuff where it was, I mean, they've done some weird months that they've started to try to do again, where they've tried to do some gimmicky things. Some really gimmicky things. And again, some of it is right now because, there's a lot of interesting talk about the comic industry. I mean, I've heard stories about whether or not, what DC Comics might look like within the next 4 to 5 years. I mean, there's real talk. I mean, there's real talk about that Warner's is going to be like, yeah, we'll just license out the characters. We'll just license out the characters. We'll just license out the characters, and anybody who wants to print, Batman or Superman. I mean, with some exceptions. I mean, I think they'll keep certain core characters and they'll have certain things. But if you want to, there's serious talk about this, where it's like, hey, why do we need to make all these books? And the only thing that keeps boggling in my mind is if you're not making these books and you're not creating these books, where is the incubation of new ideas for your TV shows, for your, where's all that coming from? And the scary part is, in the case of Warner, I don't really like the answer, because the answer would be, oh, well, we got guys for that, for movie guys and TV guys, which means congratulations. You're not going from the comics, which usually is the source material, which is better source material than a bunch of guys writing TV in a writer's room. And in fairness, it's starting to show.
Well, and the thing about it is, you also have to think about your audience, okay? And yeah, there's still a lot of us that would appreciate all of those things in a television show or in a motion picture and such. But then, of course, television being what it is, basically it's the lesser of both evils. And it just comes right down to, all right, well, we got this much money. This is what we got. Okay. If they decide to go ahead and lease the characters, I mean, it's going to be an abomination, because then you're going to have 30 different variations of one character out there.
Well, hold on a second. Who's to say Marvel doesn't buy them?
Well, Disney and Marvel are keeping everything pretty close to the chest.
I understand, but keep in mind, we're not talking about buying out to make all the DC movies and stuff like that. We're talking about the books. I mean, could you imagine a situation where it's like, okay, we're giving you rights to use Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman
in your own image,
and your own image, and suddenly they've stepped into the Marvel universe.
Now,
suddenly in the comic book,
that would be a new dynamic created,
right? Suddenly, we've seen the crossovers before, where it's the Justice League and the Avengers. Now imagine if the Justice League and the Avengers really were in the same universe all the fucking time. Or here's an idea. Okay, great. Here's a thought. Okay, well, you got Dr. Doom trying to take over the world. Hey, guess what? So's Lex Luthor at the same time, and they have competing differences. Wouldn't it be something to have a major crossover this summer of where all the heroes were stuck in the middle between a fight between Dr. Doom and Lex Luthor?
Yeah. It's a lofty ambition, but you got to follow the money, though, and the money says that
money dictates this.
Yeah, it'd be cool if it happened, but I don't see it happening.
Well, but here's the thing. That is the money, Mike. That's the crazy part. The money is at this point is if they can't seem to get, and I don't know what the numbers are and what exactly all the details are about this. I'm just saying that it's out there, which is that depending on what the numbers start to look like in terms of about some of these books and all these things, there's this talk out there of basically being like, hey, we're not going to print DC Comics anymore, but we're going to lease out these characters to other people who want to print this stuff. And to think that Marvel isn't on that list because Marvel would have the biggest pockets.
Here's the thing. Here's the other thing too. It's not a new idea. Leslie Harmon, okay, the guy who created Bozo. All right, what did he do? He saw the money was in leasing out the character Bozo. That is why when Bozo was first released, there were 50 different Bozos.
Yeah, there was a Bozo in every market. Yeah.
There was a Bozo in every market. There was a Bozo in every station, in every state. But he had just leased the whole thing out. And then what happened over the years? Well, certain markets opted out of Bozo, but certain markets, like everybody knows the Chicago Bozo because that's just what it is. It's the most well-known Bozo on the air.
And the other part is, I was going to say, the other part is the Superstation.
Right, exactly. So here you got this situation where, if they were to lease the characters now, where do you rein in the number of different variations on that particular character before it becomes an overkill or like just oversaturation of the situation?
You know what? You're going to laugh at what I'm about to say.
What's that?
Does Warner really care?
No.
I mean, if these companies are all paying you money to want, and I'm just using this as an example. If tomorrow, Dark Horse, Image, Oni Press, you get the idea. All these companies came to you and said, "Hey, we would like to lease or make an agreement where we would like to create Superman comics."
Yeah, they've had this happen on a smaller scale. I mean, I remember
Warner's going to do it.
Yeah, IDW did IDW did a crossover between Batman and the Ninja Turtles.
Right, but that's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little bit different because
that's
a joint venture.
Right.
That was not IDW basically sitting there going, "Hey, guess what? Now we get Batman Forever to be in the in the Ninja Turtle universe." Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be that would be a possibility.
Right.
Versus
we're against the people working together on it.
Right. Versus a one-time thing. You could legitimately, I mean, seriously, if they had the rights, yeah, you could do, guess what? You could have a regular title called Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That could be a regular title. If the money's right, which would be crazy.
Yeah, if the money's right, if they got it.
It's a big if, but.
Yeah, again, but this is out there. Yeah. It's out there and it's being talked about. And it's being talked about loudly. I'll tell you that now. It's being talked about really loud, more loudly than I've ever heard it before. Like, I've had, and it's like, look, I've talked to, it wasn't just me talking to certain people. I've seen it out there in print where people are talking about it, about this possibility. So it's really a possibility.
Well, it's in the air.
It'd be an interesting twist. It'd be a flavor twist.
By the way, one other thing it dawned on me. I did see. So the first episode of Supergirl was out because that's what's taking place of Superman and Lois. And I gotta tell you, once again, they get it. I don't know why that show's got to go off the air because it's the one fucking show that they have of the shows that seems to goddamn get it. Okay? It was interesting. Now, granted, there was a part of it where it was like I'm trying to remember what happened a year ago at this point. But it was
wasn't
interesting.
Wasn't last year like the Red Sun kind of thing?
No, that was the year before.
Oh, okay.
But, this year was the Leviathan. They were ending at the Leviathan thing because they didn't get a chance to finish it. But again, solid episode, good action, and good intrigue. The pacing moved well. I was never really bored. I was really now, in fairness, one of the things that helps that helps them is John Cryer is so phenomenal as Lex Luthor. He's just so phenomenal as that character. And
he's not bad. I mean, he was from Crisis, so he did a good job.
Well, you know what? I gotta be honest. He does, when he gets more time, like he does in the Supergirl show, He's incredible. And I laugh because watching the Supergirl show, I watch that and I go, yeah, you know what's missing from Superman and Lois? John Cryer.
You keep forgetting he was Luthor's lackey in Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
Why you gotta keep bringing that up? Why you gotta keep bringing that up?
Just a reminder. It's either that or we call him Ducky.
I mean, but the point being is where I'm sitting on 3 episodes of The Flash, and I don't even care if I watch them. I'm tempted to just delete them. I'm sitting on the last episode of Black Lightning, and I don't know that I really care about watching it. Again, and I'm saying this as somebody who's a fan of these comics and has been a fan of the shows for years, and I'm getting at the point where I'm like, I don't care a lot about what's going on with these shows. And in fairness, it's not because of the characters, it's just some of the stuff that they're doing right now, it's just not interesting. Whereas with Supergirl, no, this is working. This is one of the few shows that are working. Now maybe Legends of Tomorrow, that's not going to be for a little while because they're staggering certain things. And maybe that'll be back to its former self and it'll be funny and quirky and they'll figure it out again. But I have fears for that show because they seem to be all about now replacing DC characters and creating their own characters to be a part of the show that aren't DC characters. And, at the end of the day, no, why can't we have more of the actual DC characters? There's a lot of obscure DC characters that you could pull in and make part of the team. I'm not sure what the thought process is to why. I mean, I'm okay with some homegrown characters being a part of the show, but there's a lot more of them these days than there are actual legit DC characters that they could pull from. And I think it's unfortunate and it's a mistake. We'll see. But like I said, Supergirl of the CW DC shows, I'll cut Superman and Lois some slack, but really that's the best one. That's the best one. That's the best one, and it's the best one by a lot. So, and this is the final season. So if you're looking for, and Melissa Benoist is so good.
Yeah, she's great as Supergirl.
She's so great, and I don't know what she's got going next or what she's up to next, but somebody at Warner better sign her to a big contract and seriously consider. I mean, my understanding is they're talking about a Supergirl movie, and it's funny because they are doing I think they're doing a Supergirl of color in the future, and I get it, but at the same time, there's a part of me where I'm like, man, I gotta tell you, there's no reason why she couldn't have stepped up to a movie. None. No reason at all, other than you either just don't want to pay her or I don't know. But you get the idea. But yeah, and I'm sorry. So, Mike, what did you do this week?
Finished my work week. Holy crap. I was getting ready to jump off the side of the building by Saturday. I had a bad day Friday. You have one of those. You have a mistake at work, and you got to own it. And I assumed something, and it didn't work out as planned, and kind of lost the sale, and had a customer yell at me, and he was in the right because I was unprepared and it was anyway. I had a bad day Friday, so I was out of 6 p.m. Saturday. I'm on vacation. And already I feel like a weight has been lifted from my soul. I'm just had a wonderful day today. Great weather Sunday for Easter. It was a great day. Watched, we had just me and my ma and my Aunt Carol for Easter Sunday. And we had nice ham dinner, and then we watched Kong versus Godzilla. And that was good. It was a Godzilla movie. You're not looking for any kind of in-depth story, and it was a lot of jump cuts, almost like a Michael Bay-ish kind of action film. But you just get the mass destruction and the monsters yelling at each other and smashing things and explosions and Kong versus Godzilla. It's a movie. It's in a class all its own. It's like a rom-com or horror movie. I mean, if you like those, you're going to like this because it has everything you want. But it was enjoyable. I say it. I'd give it a solid 3 out of 5. Yeah, man. It's a good popcorn film. Didn't hate it. There was a couple of things like, you roll your eyes and you're like, yeah, it's pretty convoluted and pretty crazy, but.
So who are the actual stars in the movie? Not obviously Godzilla and Kong.
You mean the actors? The actors?
Yeah, the actual actors.
I couldn't name a single one of them.
No?
No. They're not A-list actors. I mean, there's no Brad Pitt in this movie.
I gotta tell you, I don't know why. And I know it's a bad movie, but if that bad Godzilla movie is on.
What, the Matthew Broderick?
The Matthew Broderick one with the Hank Azaria and all that stuff.
That's terrible.
I will watch it. I don't know why.
But just to riff it, like to MST3K it?
I don't know why. It's so bad, it's actually enjoyable.
It's so bad, it's good.
I mean, there are a few things in there where it's like, it's just so bad, it's funny. Like, where literally Matthew Broderick is like, I don't know, he's French. I mean, there's stuff like that where it's like, I mean, that by itself, the fact the French guy saves all of them is literally the antithesis of every movie I've ever seen in my life. The French guy never saves anyone.
Yeah, the French guy is usually the shady one or the one who makes the sacrifice for the hero.
Or it's like, I give up or I lose or die.
Yes, they're French. They are known for surrendering. Ha ha.
Yeah, like, oh no. Oh, God. Yeah, sacre bleu.
What was that line from The Simpsons? Groundskeeper Willie. Bonjour, you cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
Yeah. I mean, that's the part where it's like, oh, good. The voice of, I don't want to go this far. I really want, because I got to be careful. I don't want to go down a tangent, but there's like, oh, look, the voice of Apu is going to save the world. Well, I mean.
No, not anymore.
I didn't mean to, I'm trying to remember what other characters he does. But, the fact that it's like, the French guy, Ferris Bueller, and whatever voice you can think of from The Simpsons, and the guy from slash the guy from Mad About You, and not
was it Paul Reiser?
Yeah, not Paul Reiser. Hank Azaria's in that show too.
Oh.
He's in that show too. But I mean, like, that's the
Kong. It was good action film, explosions, and everyone's rooting for the monkey.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, the monkey is. I think he's in this movie more than Godzilla is. I think Godzilla, they were going with a less is more approach with Godzilla, but this movie's all about the monkey.
Is it really that? Do they do the usual bait and switch where it's like it's Godzilla versus Kong, and then all of a sudden there's something else that comes out? And
the previous movie was Godzilla King of Monsters, where Godzilla asserted his dominance on the planet as like being the alpha, among all the other monsters. There's one where he kills Ghidorah, the 3-headed one, and then all the other monsters bow to Godzilla because like he's the man, he's the top of the heap, And so then Godzilla finds out about Kong and this is a direct line from the film. Kong bows to no one. So it's Godzilla being all like, I'm number one on this planet, buddy. And Kong be all like, screw you, man. But Kong can read, spoilers, Kong can read sign language. So he communicates with this young girl.
Wow.
Yeah, it's out there, but it's still it's entertaining in its own right.
It's no French guy.
It's no French guy, but it's still good.
It's there. It's funny. I know some people who are real Godzilla fans that every time I bring up that movie, everybody's like, "You need to stop. You need to stop now before I hurt you." Like, just stop. Just stop right now.
Right. It's like every Marvel fan, you bring up the Fantastic Four film franchise, and then
people cringe.
See, the difference is I laugh at that because it's like, yeah, okay, well, that was.
We all know
okay,
it's bad.
You're right. Right, it's bad. Fine, that was bad.
But it's not a stain on the whole franchise.
Right. Whereas the Godzilla fans, that Godzilla movie with Ferris
that's
Bueller,
hated by the hardcore.
Oh my God, is that hated? Oh my God. You can't say that.
Yes. So
you
short.
Can't talk
yeah,
about
it was.
That.
It was good. It was. It's on. It's in the theaters and it did good in the box office. But it's on HBO Max until the end of April. So if you can catch it.
I guess. I mean, we can talk for 2 seconds. So it did like almost 50 million in the States.
It's like over 300, like 80 worldwide.
Wow.
Right, but I mean, like considering the fact of everything that's going on here, 50 million.
That's pretty damn
now
good.
As a box office release.
Right.
That's a healthy sign. That's a good sign.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. I mean that's why I kind of wanted to bring it up for 2 seconds, and I do as long as we're talking about it.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to Ivan. But I mean, I don't know. I'm torn. I mean, I really am because it's like, I'm thrilled for theaters. I'm thrilled for the movie going industry that they're getting those numbers. I'm also terrified a little bit because I can't speak to other parts of the country or wherever people are hearing this.
I see that
but
cases are spiking in your county, up on
right,
that county.
Right. Like in Illinois, cases are up, like in the Chicago area are up. And I mean, they're up.
Yeah.
And people are,
I think as of now, like 15% of the population in my county have been vaccinated.
I don't know. I can't answer. Again,
still waiting to get my vaccine. Still waiting to get that. I've called another list, and I called one place, and they're like, "Oh, we're only doing second shots this week." And I'm on this email list, and I'm getting back on.
When we get off tonight.
Mine's on the 11th, so that's when I'll be getting mine.
Okay.
I'm getting. By the time this drops on Wednesday night. The next day, I am going through shot number 2.
All right.
And
of course,
and by the way, I was gonna say, I have something for you when we either take the break or go offline. Some ideas for you on how to get the shot.
Special connection.
I got a few things that I found.
I am an essential worker, and I've waited because I want to be sure all the seniors got the people who are more at risk. But now it's all like. Everyone, we're getting to the point where a lot more adults are becoming eligible, but it's okay. I think it's my turn now. So I'm trying to get.
I mean, there's only fucking 10 people who listen to this. I mean, it's not going to kill you. It's not going to kill anybody. And some people might hear this and it might be important. So, first of all, if you're in the Chicago area, there's a Facebook group called the Chicago Vaccine Hunters Group. They are phenomenal. They have all kinds of tips. They have all kinds of information that you can find and you can get through them. It's on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, you can join that group. Obviously, I think there are ones from other parts of the country, but this is specifically for Chicago. The other thing is there's a site called VaxMax that supposedly you can put in your information and it will kind of give you an idea of all the places that actually have openings right now that are nearby you that you can get to. And then the other thing I would tell you is, Mike, I know it's your day off and you don't want to get up really, really early, but if you can get up by about 6 o'clock Central Time, if you can get up by 6 o'clock Central Time to get to the Walgreens site, you'll probably find one right by you. Because I'll tell you right now, I did that, and seriously, it only took me 15 minutes to get everything, and I got a place 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah, there's 3 Walgreens in my area, within 5-minute drive. There are 3 Walgreens in my area. So yeah,
if you can get if you get up at 6,
Walgreens website.
Odds are good. Odds are really good.
All right. Also, I watched Chuck. Can't have an Easter without Charlton Heston. So I watched that. I popped in the DVD after Kong versus Godzilla Easter Sunday.
Yeah, or just remember, it's not your book.
That's right.
It's not your book.
It's Old Testament. It's still the Holy Scriptures.
Yeah. Man, I always see every time every time I see Charlton Heston, all I want to do is watch him say do a poetry reading of like Cop Killer by Ice-T now. Oh, that's all I want to see. That's all I care to see. Because he did that when he did that in the 90s.
Well, now every time I see Sephora, I'm singing I'm humming along the Munsters theme song when you see Sephora. And Edward G. Robinson is all, saying, yeah. Where's your deliverer now? Yeah.
Well, yeah, so like I said, the only thing I think, Mike, you're a little bit more gung-ho about, okay, theaters are opening, it looks like people are going back. It sounds like you'd be more gung-ho about going into a movie these days than I think I am.
Well, I miss just hanging out with my friends, and we all, we get half a row, and we just sit and watch a Marvel movie. I miss those days. I think we might have a viewing party at my house for Black Widow.
Okay, but see, there's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Here's the difference. You're talking about having it at your house and paying $30 versus going to the movie theater.
And each of us paying $12 or whatever. So
right, but the point being is, if all things were equal, okay, so if you have the option of going to the movie theater or having people at your house to watch Black Widow, or is it really just a monetary at this point?
Well, it's not monetary. It's not a monetary issue. It's about, this year, obviously, not a lot of conventions are, this year. And the theaters, I think this would be more fun just to have, it's been a while since I've seen some of my friends. I'm on vacation this week, and I'm seeing a friend I haven't seen since March of last year.
Sure.
So I'm going to see him Thursday. We're going to meet up for dinner, and we're going to hang out. We're going to get caught up. So that's awesome. I think it's just having if I just throw some burgers on the grill, and we just have some snacks or whatever, and then we all
right. But I mean,
it'd be nice to hang out. But I miss those movie nights. I miss those movie nights.
Right, but we're talking about. In the midst of the fact that numbers are spiking. I get people think we're in the home stretch because we've got a vaccine now and people are getting vaccinated left and right.
Yeah, but now the younger people who haven't been vaccinated yet, their positivity rates are going up because they haven't been vaccinated. And it's been a year, everyone's sick of it and they're throwing their masks off. It's been this whole last week. I've had at least one person a day, and I got to remind them to get their masks on, and I had to kick one person out on Friday.
Yeah,
and it was a younger guy.
Like I said, I'm just curious to see where this is going to go.
Yeah, we'll see.
Without question, there is definitely
there's going to be more bad behavior. There's going to be more bad behavior.
Yeah. Well, right, and that's the unfortunate part is there's a part of me where I'm like, I'm thrilled for movie for. And by the way, let me make this clear. I don't really give a shit about the companies that make movies on this shit. Okay? I do care about the theaters because usually those guys, they're still, because you're talking about workers and whatnot. And, and those movies, that'll be fine whether they're on HBO Max or not. At the end of the day, everybody got paid. For the most part, everybody got paid except for the corpse. Okay? But yeah, to me, I think I just find it intriguing that we're already at the point where Godzilla on an opening weekend like that got 50 million people.
And it's the number one movie of the year, of the week.
Right. Well, not only of the week, let's really put it here. Given the fact of, that's a big, exactly, Ivan. Right. Well, and that's what I mean. Right now, 50 million is a number that I don't think any of us would have expected at all.
Not at this point in time.
No. And yet there it is. It makes me wonder, I don't know what else is coming out that's going to come out in theaters in the next month or so. If there's anything that has that kind of wow factor to it that might jump things up, if you know what I mean. That, as time goes on. Honestly, I think that's one of the reasons why Marvel Mike, is why one of the reasons why I think Marvel pushed back Black Widow is because
Again.
I think but here's the thing, as you just said,
I think it's being strategic.
Right. I mean, if we're talking about Godzilla got $50 million, and we're talking about April or late April / late March, however you want to call it, okay, and you've got at least what? You know, we're talking July, so you're talking April, May, June, July, 4 months from now. But Godzilla already got $50 million here. Maybe you can make $200 million on. I mean, now I don't know if Black Widow's going to go that far, but maybe you can make $200 million on a Black Widow movie.
Who knows?
We'll see.
Maybe you can. Maybe you can make your money because that's what they're really looking at is that they want to make that kind of money.
Well, they're going to project it to try to make that kind of cash, yeah.
Well, right, because, here's the thing. They're still trying to, I mean, that's the thing that's the crazy part, is they're still trying to find ways to hit the projections that they created for movies that last year were supposed to hit certain projections in theaters.
Yeah, and
that's what they're,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was about to say going back to Kong versus Godzilla. It was a huge special effects extravaganza. Would have been awesome to see in IMAX. Mm-hmm. All the destruction, all of the spinning camera angles and the fight scenes would have been really cool to see on a big screen. And I'm sure it still would be good. But I'm watching it on my 50-inch TV at home. It was pretty cool. But the thing is, Marvel is also following what Warner Brothers did and HBO Max did. Is that it's on streaming for a limited time, but it's also in theaters. If you want to patronize your local theater, then you can do so. Otherwise, you've got it on HBO Max, and you might still have some more of your subscription left, and go and you watch it there too. You got the choice. You got options.
Well, but there is one difference, which is the HBO Max movies. I pay my monthly subscription. I get the movie.
Right.
Whereas with Disney. With Disney Plus, with Black Widow on Disney Plus,
you got to drop the
I got to pay
$30.
another $30. I got to pay another $30.
Yeah, but then it's yours. Period.
Yeah. So what?
And you can watch it as many times as you want. So even like 2 screenings with a couple of people, that pays for it. But this will be the first one I do with Disney Plus because I didn't give a crap about Mulan. And if they did one with, I think they did have an earlier one with.
They have the Raya.
Yeah, Raya and the Last Dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's again. Yeah, those were ones.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's interesting which ones they chose to do that with, and which ones they didn't. Yeah. Like, they didn't choose to do that with Hamilton or Soul. They chose.
That's
to
right.
do it
Yeah,
with,
Hamilton to drop. Yeah, I remember we talked about that last week. Yeah.
Right. They didn't do it with those two. They just did it with these, which makes me wonder. And honestly, here, ready? Where's the Asian community screaming bloody murder about why are their movies an additional $30?
Which has come up topic.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm on vacation. I'm looking forward to DairyCon this weekend, and waiting for HasLab to ship my Unicron. But other than that, that's it. So Ivan, what have you been up to this week? How was your Easter?
Easter was good. Just kind of kicked it on back. Really wasn't much going on. But my Julie went, to be with her daughters down in Terre Haute, Indiana, and so while they were down there, I stuck it up here, and then later on went to see my mom, and had a nice little Easter party. It was kind of cool. Everybody had their shots. I mean, everybody else that I was with had both their shots already, and everything. Mine is only a few days away, but we did, we did do the protocols for the most of it, and it was just really nice, nice being with, Soraya, my mom, my sister, my niece, it was really cool, just kind of hanging out, and, my niece Melissa, sweet girl, likes to put these things together and everything. It was really quite the surprise. And, so it was lovely. Before I was there, I was on at the, spinning wheel, doing my own thing here, of 60s music, 60s soul music from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And I was over at my mom's by 7. And played some good music. Got to test out my tape deck, my Tascam 32, which, me being the tinker guy, I put a new pinch roller on her, and I put a new belt in her, and then I oiled her motor down, and man, so she plays
oiled her motor down. Ooh,
oiled her motor down. It was sad, but it was so.
Yeah, gives that love. Yeah.
Yeah, so oiled her down, and it was just like, okay, here you go, girl, and she just started to fire up real nice. I recorded a piece of the video cast that Sunday, and I played it back today, and really sounded good. I was really happy. It's nice, when you it's a little bit of pride when you can work with your hands and, make something, put things together and just make them work and stuff like that. I've always loved that kind of thing. And, especially with electronic gear.
And when you merge the digital and the analog.
Yeah, and it's just very, very satisfying. And not only that, the fact that since things have kind of happened on their own little wavelength and everything through this pandemic, you start to get introspective about the things that you have in your catalog and things like that. I'm happy to say, yeah, I think I'm ready to release some stuff, and I already put some stuff on Facebook, so, and see what people think about it, and you guys liked it. Thank you very much. That was very sweet. And, so, yeah, and then after that, today, well, just, waited until Julie got home, brought her back in, made her comfortable. Now I'm out here, just,
like what, get Chicka Wow Wow comfortable or just comfortable?
No, she's just comfortable, not Chickawawa comfortable. She had therapy today, so I don't think I'll be doing no Chickawawa for a little bit. But, anyway, yeah, she's comfortable, so.
Now,
yeah,
you're visiting the Chippewa tribe?
No, I'm not going to the Chippewa tribe. I'm not hanging around the old rodeo with the fuck around gang.
With your flavor twists.
My flavor twists. Yippee-ki-yay! Anyway, but, yeah, other than that, yeah, everything has been cool. It's been good, and, packing more records away, and, getting ready for the big change. Once that arrives, then each of the ready, and, hoping by next year everything will be in its place, and there's place for everything. So, other than that, yeah, life is good. Visited a dispensary. And picked up something new, and always expanding my horizons, and just getting into the creative sensibilities of what happens, with me, and yeah, and of course, other than that, yeah, everything else is really, really good, guys. Life is good, and it's always better when we're here together. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Affirmative.
Cool.
Yeah, man. So let's see.
So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay.
And now, what do we do in the general consensus of what life?
We had a few news items this week. We had trailers for days this week.
Oh, really now?
Yeah, we had a few different trailers.
Yeah.
We got a lot of trailers?
Yeah, multiple.
Oh, wow. Let's check out what the trailers are.
Let's see.
Well, we could start as far back as, so we have what? We have Black Widow, we have Loki, we have the new Space Jam trailer, right? Or am I missing one? That was Black.
And they dropped a lot of Star Trek news today because today's First Contact Day.
Oh yeah.
First Contact Day.
Yes.
This is
42 years from now, the humans will meet the Vulcans. So.
This is because Star Wars got that May the 4th
be with you.
And now all the Trek people are like, we gotta find a way to have a day too.
And now Star Trek they use this day to drop a lot of news today. So we have April 5th, they have May 4th. See?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know that I'd care about May.
No.
Well, May 4th, the Bad Batch drops, so I'm going to watch that. Not that
I don't care. I May the 4th be with you. I get it, but
yes.
April 5th. I'm like, what?
That's the day, and that's the day Star Trek says because of Star Trek First Contact, which was a decent Star Trek movie. Not my favorite, but it was still a good, solid film.
That's the day. That's the day. April 5th is the redheaded stepchild of May 4th.
That's right. You're right.
It's
the Trekkies' answer to May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, this sounds like a J.J. Abrams bad idea, but okay.
Now, why would you point out
anyway, well, I guess we'll talk first about the Space Jam trailer. It looks okay. I mean, Space Jam is not my, it's not my jam, but see what I did there. But it looked all right. I mean, I'll see it. If I can see it for free, I'll watch it.
Well, and that's the thing, is it's going to be on HBO Max.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, thank you for making it so I don't have to pay to go see that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting because it's like, I don't know that they really, like I said, they certainly don't use. It doesn't look like they're really using any of the premise from the first movie to create the second movie.
Okay.
Other than how can I say? Okay, it's LeBron James now going to meet up with Bugs Bunny and whatnot to go play this game. That's the only, and there's a game. Other than that, it doesn't look like there's any.
No, I don't think there's any connection to the first one. No,
there's not really any connection.
You know what still riles me up, right? You know what grinds my gears. Okay,
aside from the car behind you.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, and you know my thing about you heard what I said there. Let's think about Pepe Le Pew, okay? And then on top of that, but yet the other icon, Mr. Speedy Gonzalez, is in the film.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay, because here it is. All right, for years and years and years and years, the Mexican American community supported, Speedy Gonzalez. Okay, although here it is, they look at Speedy Gonzalez as a positive role model, and he's speedy, he's fast, hey, I go against the establishment, that type of guy. So yeah, Speedy Gonzalez. I mean, the Mexican Americans, as well as a lot of Mexicans, are very proud of Speedy Gonzalez, and you know what? And
yeah, but they're not so much a fan of Slowpoke. What's his name? Are they?
Oh, Slowpoke Jimenez.
Yeah, those episodes went.
Well, okay. They just said that he was still sleepy, but
they needed a foil for him for the story development.
Everybody was in on the joke. Everybody was in on the joke at Warner. We were fully nobody with that. Okay, but at the same time, yeah.
Like I said, those did not age well. So yeah, it was like. I mean, those have been gone since the '90s. I mean,
those have been gone. I think they were gone way before that, man. I mean,
no. I remember watching him as a kid in the '80s. He was still around in the '80s.
Yeah, I remember watching Looney Tunes. I think they had him on CBS.
Yeah, no, they had Slowpoke Gonzalez in the '80s. They did, or Slowpoke, whatever his name is.
Jimenez.
Yeah, Slowpoke Jimenez. Yeah, Slowpoke Jimenez was on the '80s. Was in the '80s, but in the '90s, when they started airing him on Cartoon Network and Boomerang, nope, no more.
Yeah, they kind of memory hold him. Yeah.
Yeah, that went bye.
Yeah.
That's the character that went by.
And I saw another article that Yosemite Sam will have his pistols.
Yeah.
They're going to let him keep his pistols?
Yeah.
Okay, get on that, because you know what? It's cartoon, damn it.
Well,
what are they going to take all the guns out of Roger Rabbit too? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, how far are we going to take this eraser?
Well, if you did hear so there's a scene where LeBron gets to pick his team.
Yeah.
And initially his team that he lists that he's picking, I can't remember all the names that are on it, but one of the names is Superman. and so LeBron's gotten a lot of flack about why would you need Superman if you're LeBron James? Aren't you supposed to be the best? Michael Jordan wouldn't need a Superman. Michael Jordan is Superman. So that's been out there. I mean, yeah. So he's taking a few hits on that. I'm curious. Like I said, you know what? I felt like there was something missing on it, but at the same time, it's like, hey, it's gonna be on HBO Max, so yeah, I'll probably, I'll definitely see it.
Yeah.
I thought the animation was good. Maybe they're trying to hide a few things that I mean, I don't know that I found the trailer really, really funny. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
But, I don't know that I was like, oh my God, this is funny or like anything along the lines like that. But
maybe they just kept the punch for when you got to see the movie.
Right, and they might be.
Got a lot of times where, they put way too much into a teaser and stuff like that. You get to the movie, you're kind of like, the fuck? The best stuff is in the teaser.
Right. Right. No, exactly. And maybe that's the case. Who knows? I mean, the other thing that was interesting is that, I don't know about you, Mike, it seemed on some levels, it gave off a little bit of a Ready Player One vibe in aspects. With all the different characters that they were pulling out. I mean, it wasn't just like the Looney Tunes crew. Like, they had the Iron Giant in there. They had some of the Hanna-Barbera characters in there. They had a lot of characters that weren't exactly just the Looney Tunes. I get the impression it's just going to be the Looney Tunes team.
Or stuff that's owned by Warner Brothers, right?
Right, but they had a lot of other stuff that was owned by Warner Brothers.
Well, Warner Entertainment,
that were part of this movie. And I'm like, that seemed to be a bit.
Because Warner owns Hanna-Barbera. Warner owns a number of those,
Right.
So they're going to use every tool in that box. That's all.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, I just think it's interesting because, like I said,
it's not just
how different that. Right.
It's not a singularly Warner Brothers movie. They're incorporating all these different fractions. From
it's not singular. It's not singularly, the Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
they're they're leveraging this for a lot more than just that. So, which is interesting. I mean,
maybe it's kind of it's silly.
Maybe going with the sequel, we need more attitude.
Do you think maybe it's the silly guy's debut of these other characters? That aren't the Looney Tunes. Maybe that they're trying to bring attention to.
Well, I mean, I almost take this. So here's a crackpot theory. Could they legitimately be trying to create a full-on Warner Brothers universe where all these characters exist in one universe?
That's possible.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past
it kind of looked, because
I don't see why not.
I don't know. I didn't
Bugs
go back
Bunny hanging out with Yogi Bear.
Right. Well,
okay.
I need to go back and look at the trailer, but thinking about the trailer, it did kind of have that possibility in it.
Did you watch the trailer, Ivan?
No, but I'm going to now.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I thought the animation was interesting. It certainly was, it's definitely American style. I thought it was interesting that they're making him a cartoon character.
Yeah, that was
not going to be
an interesting take,
Yeah, that they're not going to make him a
where it's
person.
Not just, yeah, exactly, putting what we had in the first Space Jam.
Yeah, with the live action.
They had live, like Roger Rabbit-esque, the tunes interacting with human in real life characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am curious. I mean, one of the things that makes
it's called.
One of the, I mean, there's a couple of things that are unique with the original Space Jam that make it fun, and the couple things that make it fun are, that they didn't forget that they did have some of the human characters in there that made it interesting. Like, Wayne Knight is in there, and he's kind of there, but he's, I mean, certainly he's a patsy, but you get the idea. But it added to it. Or that out of nowhere, for no apparently good reason, Bill Murray shows up at the last minute for like the final play of the game. The final play of the game. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if, and maybe they're saving some of this stuff. Who knows? But I just am curious to see if we see anything like that in this version. And by the way, the music in the other one was part of what made it so good. I mean, you know, we were talking about I Believe I Can Fly.
Yeah,
the Space Jam
song. Yeah.
No. And
it was R. Kelly. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, R. Kelly. But that, you know, that you had the Space Jam, the Welcome to the Space, and it's funny, they kept playing that song the whole way to give you that nostalgia feel. I give them that, but it just, you know, I don't know. I was like, it's cool, but I'm not wow.
You're not totally immersed in it yet.
Nope.
You know, no. That's because you know, I mean, Space Jam, that's kind of a really hard act to follow. I mean, you know, it stands on its own merit, both aesthetically, musically, and you know, just in its design. You know, with its animated and its live action lines. It's just, I mean, that and just, you know, the fascination of it. You know, you have Michael Jordan, right? Okay, so that's a big shoe to fill with this Space Jam 2. Do you think it's gonna, you know, do you think it'll surpass it? Do you think you'll just get next to it? Do you think you'll be behind it?
We'll find out. We'll have to see it and find out.
Yeah, I don't. If anything, the thing that makes me interested, which would be interesting, is do we get? I mean, is there any chance we get a Jordan cameo? I imagine the answer is no.
Not likely, because Jordan seems to, you know, as we've seen from this documentary that came out last year, that he's the kind of guy who keeps a grudge.
Yeah, or the fact that I'm the greatest, not LeBron. But honestly, that's one of the reasons why if I was Jordan, I'd be like, yeah, I won in the movie.
Yeah,
because I gotta remind everybody I'm the greatest, not LeBron.
Right, exactly. There's a meme now. That's a meme now of Michael Jordan sitting in a chair saying, "And I took that personally."
Michael just to be there, be like, just a reminder, I was here first.
Right.
I did this already. I have been here. You're just,
right,
you know, you're just the next, you know.
You're next in line, but you're not my replacement. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're next in line, but you didn't replace the king.
Yeah,
you know.
That's right.
Yeah. I wonder what Michael would ask. You know, the worst part. You know what the best part is? For a cameo like that, you know, Jordan would ask for big money.
He's going to ask for big money,
and I mean big money.
I wouldn't blame him.
Like,
no pittance. I mean, big fucking money. Multiple.
I mean, he might even ask for a point in the movie. Like when I say a point, I mean like
he had scored
as in like money. Yeah, like as in like everything he makes, he gets like 1 point.
Or percentage of the box office. I wouldn't be.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like 1 point. Like when I say 1 point, 1 percentage point.
Right.
Yeah. I could see him saying something like that for like a 5-minute cameo. I could see him doing it because I'm Michael Jordan. I'm about to do whatever I want.
That's right.
Pretty much.
Yeah, really.
Oh well. So yeah, I'll see it for free. So yeah.
Yeah. So there's that, and then which trailer do you want to go to next?
We'll go to Black Widow. That dropped earlier. Was that drop on Friday? I think. Was it Friday or Saturday?
I think so.
Yeah, the Black Widow. I think this might be the final trailer, maybe. I mean, we've getting trailers for a year, so why not? Yep, just give me the film. Damn it.
I'm still not feeling it.
No, I want to see it. I'm interested.
I'm not.
If there is a passing of the torch where we'll see if Black Widow gets a successor, this blonde chick that might take over for Black Widow, now that we know it, because the events of Avengers Endgame. But, we'll see. But yeah, I still want to see it. And, of course, we'll get to, Falcon Winter Soldier here in a little while. But yeah, the Black Widow trailer, I'm digging it. Still want to see it. Can't wait.
It's interesting because they keep trying to make it sound like, you know, this is her looking back from it's interesting with the narrative that was used here. Is this a previous story that happened? Is this she'll be looking back on it from the perspective? Is this is something else entirely? Could they have found a way to resurrect her somehow or some way or something? I mean, could it be really something crazy? I don't know. I mean, it looks interesting at the same time. I'm not feeling and again, I certainly will probably go see this and have no problem seeing it. At the same time, I'm just not feeling enough of the wow.
You're not feeling the force of it.
I'm not feeling the real wow factor to this movie enough. And again, that doesn't mean I won't go see it. That doesn't mean I'm not interested. I'm just not feeling, there's just something missing, and I'm not sure what it is.
Well, when you view it, then you'll just review it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Jeff will pay the $30 to see it.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to. It
doesn't sound like it will.
No, I don't. I really don't. I gotta be honest, because the only person who's gonna see it is me, and I don't need to see. I don't need to pay for access to see it again. When at some point later on, I'll have access to it for free if I continue to keep Disney Plus. Which why do I want to pay $30 for permanent access?
Wait a couple more months, you can see it for when they move it to the free side of the format.
That's right.
I mean, if I play now, in fairness, if I play it smart, okay, depending on what's going on with COVID and stuff, if I can play it smart and I can find the right, I'm just curious if the same tricks that I used to use to go to movie theaters will work in the future, which is, can I wait for a weird, odd time that normally everybody should be at work or something like that?
Yeah, but the thing is, the thing is that this drops in July, so you've got all of July and all of August maybe to see this film before it leaves the theater, and that's a time where kids are out of school, so it might be more difficult.
Right, but the point being is, for example,
make the numbers while everybody's out of school,
Well, for example, something like this could be showing at 9 a.m.
Right.
Okay. How many people are really going to a 9 a.m. movie on a weekday?
I have never gone to a movie in the morning to the movie screening. Late at night or in a matinee, like around noontime, but I've never been to a morning matinee of a film.
I have. I've done the 10 a.m. I've done the 10 a.m. showing. I've done the 10 a.m.
I remember seeing episode 3 of Star Wars before I went to work. We were there at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I went to work.
It's just time to work. And did you watch episode 3 and then you go into work and you say, hello there?
I don't remember what I said. I think at the time I was still working at sport. I was still working in radio. So yeah, I was able to pull that one off. I was like, it was okay. I don't have to work till noon or something like that, or 2 or something like that. Like, oh, hello. Yeah, my problem is when I do that, I sound like the other guy. Oh, hello, Doc. That guy.
Oh, sweet goodness.
So
okay, and then the Loki trailer dropped today.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that looks.
What the hell is going on there?
Oh boy.
Well, they're explaining why Loki is. If he's gotten, I guess, some of the Watchers and some kind of time police or whatever. Well, I think that's Owen Wilson's role in this.
Well, like I said, that I'm aware of, and I'll tell you again, I haven't been reading continuity in a long time at this point, but I'm not aware of anything in Marvel that is like the
some
time
kind of
cops or
temporal
time
cops or something like that.
Yeah, I know DC has that.
Yeah.
DC Comics has that, but not Marvel. So I'm like, okay, where did this come from?
I don't know. They did drop, didn't they? No, that was the other one. Marvel dropped the What If trailer, another What If trailer, and that had the Watchers in it. This one did not.
Right. This isn't the Watchers.
This is some other organization.
Right. This is some other organization.
Yeah, he's sitting at a desk, and the guys are like, "Okay, please sign this and verify that this is everything you've ever said." And then Loki says, "This is ridiculous," and so he prints out another piece of paper and says, "This is ridiculous," and slaps it on the stack. That's funny.
Yeah, you know what it reminded me of? That organization reminded me of the organization, like the time travel organization in Umbrella Academy.
Okay.
They are really similar in that regard. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
No.
But, I'm sorry. I finally saw the first episode of Umbrella Academy. I'm not sure that I want to rewatch. I'm gonna watch. I'm sorry, not first episode. I saw the first episode of season 2, and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Well, you think they're jumping the shark?
It's not that they're jumping the shark. It's okay. Here we go again. You know, it's okay. Okay, now something new happened.
Oh, there's been a flavor twist.
Oh,
right, okay.
Flavor twist.
Ivan's interested.
Okay.
Now I'm engaged. Yeah.
It's okay. Here's what happened at the end of season 1. Okay. Here's what happens now for the beginning of season 2, and then there's a time anomaly that happens, a new time anomaly that happens, and now we have to fix it. We have to figure out what happened, and we only have a certain amount of time until that time anomaly is going to happen. And I'm just kind of like sitting there, and I'm like, is that what every season is going to be? Because if it's going to be like that every fucking season, it's just deja vu over and over again. It's basically, you're rehashing the same, it's the same fucking plot, just some new characters and new characterizations and stuff. Maybe the characters move forward in some way, shape, or form, but really in reality, I'm not sure the plot does, if you want to understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Or how does this, it just seems like this is built to be like, okay, and when will just in time for you to fuck up the next fucking thing for the next fucking season. It's like, I don't know. I just, again.
That was like a Quantum Leap type of thing.
Yeah, if Quantum Leaps were a bunch of fucking idiots.
There you go.
And fuck ups. But yeah, okay, sorry. So yeah,
Okay.
apparently Loki, there's like a time bureau or some shit like that.
Where they accuse him of messing up the timeline because he escaped with the Tesseract in Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
So now they gotta fix it.
Right, and it's unclear exactly what all else he's doing in there, because it's like, there's a bunch of jump cuts, and it's like, okay, I'm a little lost as to
how this all plays out. You're right.
How this all works or how this all plays. But it's strange enough to make me go, okay, let's see what the hell this is. I thought it was a little sooner than the date I saw listed though.
I think was it May, I think?
No, I saw something that's in June.
Oh, it's June? Okay, because there's only 3 more episodes left of Falcon Winter Soldier, so we're going to get a bit of a gap.
I thought it was May, and then I'm like looking at it, it's in June.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a little confused. Maybe it is May. I don't know.
Yeah. If this is only 6 episodes, then they might drop it all before, because if they could drop it all in June, and then July you get Black Widow. I thought they might be like spreading it out,
I don't know. I can't.
But yeah,
it does make it interesting to know. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in on that, obviously. Anything MCU. So they dropped a lot of Star Trek news. We got 2 trailers and news. The 2 trailers we got were for season 4 of Star Trek Discovery and and season 2 of Picard, where they've confirmed the return of Q. So,
is there a trailer for that, or is
yes,
it just they confirmed?
Because today is First Contact Day, so they dropped all this Star Trek news, and yes, they dropped the trailers for both Discovery season 4 and Picard season 2. But Picard season 2 was more of a teaser. We get more action because I don't think they're filming season 2 of Picard yet. Whereas where they've done filming season 4 of Discovery, and we've seen some action scenes, and so now there's some new threat that's threatening the entire galaxy. So now all the races of the Alpha Quadrant have to join forces again. But season 2 has confirmed the return of Q. So, and I posted this before saying, okay, like season 1 of Picard was just meh, but with return of Q, I'm all in.
So it just changes.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's been a long time at this point.
It's been a long road. Is that what you're saying?
It's been a long
getting from there to
time
here.
It's been a long time since they've decided to.
It's been a long time, but my time is finally here.
Yeah. Well, it's not here.
No, not yet.
It's not. Because I'm just waiting for when the Discovery crosses over to Picard so that Michael Burnham can basically tell Picard he's wrong every 5 minutes.
And disobey orders and get promoted again. Yeah.
Right, and disobey orders and then tell Picard to fuck off.
Because now, Picard is, because Burnham is now captain of Discovery.
Although
they have returned,
but
they did have. Whoa, what kind of Trek is this? But yeah, there's
actually take it back. That I might want to watch. That could be no, not really. Yeah, I don't know.
They have, of course, they did tease Saru. They had one shot at him with the other Kelpian. So it's possible that Saru might return, so please bring back my Saru. We didn't get a trailer. I was hoping for a new trailer for Strange New Worlds, the Pike Show. I'm most excited about the Pike Show. The Adventures of the Enterprise with Captain Pike. That's what I want.
I can't wait for him to fight the Daleks.
Exterminate.
What?
Yep. Let's see. Oh, and of course, the
fact that Ivan gets that joke is awesome.
Yeah. Now talk about a flavor twist.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
And Star Trek special.
Maybe Michael Burnham can become Doctor Who. Then she can take over multiple shows and tell people that they're wrong.
She can be and I was hoping for a trailer for season 2 of Lower Decks, but we didn't get that either. But here we're talking.
You know what would have been hysterical? What would have been hysterical is if today we got a trailer for the Orville.
On First Contact Day.
That would have been
Seth
great. That would have been great.
Seth would have dropped it on the day before First Contact Day, just to be the. No. This is my Star Trek. That's Todd McFarlane's The Orville, right?
Yeah, no, not Todd McFarlane. Yeah, not Todd McFarlane.
So the other news that Star Trek released today is that there will be the official Star Trek convention will be in Chicago in 2022.
Wow.
Yeah, Ivan choked on his flavor twists when he got that news.
Oh, great! That's great. There'll be a lot of people in like little scooters and walkers and.
Oh wow! Listen to you.
New Trek is putting new blood into the fandom. The young people be all like, "Where's Captain Burnham?" And you're wearing your TOS uniform.
Oh my goodness!
Man, I'm telling you, look.
But it'll be in April of 2022 at McCormick Place.
Yes.
I think they set a release date.
I liked Next Generation as a kid. I mean, it was for the time when there was nothing. It was good as what it was. I still really love Deep Space Nine. It's probably my favorite of all the Star Trek shows. I do laugh because it's like, since that show, nobody's done a show anywhere close to similar to that for Star Trek, or along those veins, or along those lines of where it's not a fucking ship. And it's too bad because, there's other ways that you could show us the Star Trek universe beyond just, hey, let's have a starship and have
the planet of the week and the monster of the week on the
planet,
right?
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. But Star Trek Deep Space Nine is a close second for me. I mean, I first got into Star Trek from watching the Filmation animated series from the 70s. And then Star Wars hit, and I was like, oh, there's this other thing called Star Trek, and that without Star Wars, we wouldn't have gotten the continuation of Star Trek in the form it did. But TNG and DS9 and a little bit of Voyager, that's my jam. And
without Star Wars, we would have never gotten that phenomenal movie that they released for Star Trek
in 1979. Yeah, the Star Trek, Star Trek, the slow motion picture. Yeah.
Star Trek. I remember seeing that in theaters. I went with family. We figured, okay, it's Star Trek. It'll be interesting. Oh my God, I was 10. I was like, by the time it was over, I was like, I don't even know what the fuck they said.
Bored.
I don't even know what they said. Yeah. I don't understand what just happened.
Yeah.
And by the way, and that's exactly how I felt watching the end of Picard, too, by the way. Because I don't know what the fuck happened at the end. And people want me to be like, oh, and, we're bringing back Q. Why? So you can have another shitty ending just like you had before? So you can, so Picard, so wait, can we get Brent Spinner to show up too? So at the end we can have a three-way existential conversation that I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about.
I think Brent Spiner has officially retired his role of Data.
Yeah, well, I got money that says that. I bet a lot of money says differently.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Who knows? And the funny part is, I was all, with Picard, I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm enjoying this. And then they get to the end, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and they're all on they're at the campground, and then all the androids there, and then the Romulans show up, and then they have to stop this machine from coming through the portal, and then Riker shows up, and then they have this big, they gave a fond farewell to Data's character.
Is that what you called it?
Yeah, yes, that was
okay.
Yes, I did get a little bit of the feels when we said goodbye to Data for the last time.
God, that was so boring as fuck. I don't even know what the fuck that was. I mean, it's like they're talking in code. It's like they're talking in code. And then to top it off, in the end, he's got a ship with all these ragtag looking people. It's like, okay, so they're trying to recreate Star Wars and Star Trek. Got it. Good. I get it now. I understand. Great. I totally get it now.
Well, he's not captain. He's too old to be a captain of a starship anymore. He's too old to be in the in Starfleet.
Yeah, I just feel like that's like a role playing group trying to play Star Wars.
Yeah, this seems like a Star Frontiers campaign or something like that.
Yeah. No. That without question.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's find a way to make quirky characters that we can build around.
And they're not all Starfleet.
Yeah, they're all not Starfleet because that's cool.
But that's where Lower Decks is scratching that itch, because you've got you got a ship, and you got protocols, and you have that same kind of antics of although it's a little more lighthearted, even like along the lines of the Orville, what the Orville's doing. I think one might have influenced the other in that sense. So let's see, that's the Star Trek news. We have anything else this week?
Yeah,
just all the trailers. So many.
No, we got whatchamacallit. We got the Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we've overlooked that. We're halfway through this season. I don't even know if we're going to get a season 2, but we're halfway through.
No, I don't think so.
Halfway through the Falcon Winter Soldier. I don't know if we need to synopsize this main. I mean, we could just hit the bullet points of cool stuff.
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Which one from Wakanda is that at the end of
Was that the one? She was in charge during the blip. I think her name was Okoye.
Is that which one it is?
Yeah, well, the one where she's it's a crack in the ocean. We deal with it by not dealing with it. I think that was her line in Endgame. I think that was her who showed up. So that was the big oh my god at the end was they've tracked. This Baron Zemo, they broke Baron Zemo out, and they're trying to find out who this Flag Smasher chick is, where she is. They can find her because she has the super soldier serum. So they track her. They're tracking him down to this house, and Bucky's like, "I'm going to go for a walk," and Sam's like, "Okay." So and Bucky's picking up these little orbs or whatever, that looks like some kind of tracking device or something, and it's Wakandan tech. And words come down that Baron Zemo's loose, so who's going to go after him? The Wakandans, they want.
Well, I think it's interesting because
it was
a throwaway line at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, they won't do anything with that. That's just
I did not see that. I did not see that coming.
Well, it was like, I mean, I thought about it, and I'm like, with everything that's gone on, especially where they don't know what they're doing yet. Well, then again, maybe they did by that point. But especially with everything going on with like Chadwick Boseman and all that stuff like that, it's like, okay, are you really wanting to go here now?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I guess you are.
Yep.
Interesting. I can't remember the name of the city that the power broker runs, but that place is cool.
Madripoor?
Yeah, we need to see that more often in Marvel stuff.
Yeah, like the seedy underworld, you know? We saw a bit of that in Black Panther.
Yeah, but not like that. Yeah, I mean, that was really pretty cool looking. If anything, it reminded me of, in Guardians, it reminded me of Nowhere.
Right. The same kind of vibe.
It had a similar,
but it's on
same kind of vibe, similar feeling. And nice to see Sharon Carter back.
Yeah, Agent 13, yeah.
A little surprised about, it's funny.
How she's become so disenfranchised now, obviously.
Yeah, and I can't remember the actress's name, but she, the interesting part with her is she does, she's the one who's the lead in The Resident on Fox. So that's, and she's been working regularly. She did that Revenge show on ABC, and then she went kind of almost practically straight, she's done some bit pieces in the Marvel movies, but then she's doing The Resident. She's like the lead the female lead on The Resident. So it's not like, I don't know how much we're really going to get to see how much more we'll see of Sharon Carter. But I've always wanted to see, I almost wonder, it's like The Resident, I think The Resident's in season 3. I mean, it's doing decent ratings. I don't know how long it'll stay on. I'm just curious if at some point we could get a Sharon Carter spinoff. But I don't know if she's going to have the time,
Yeah.
It would be interesting. But
what other takeaways from this episode? John Walker's trying to get to the bottom of this, but he realizes that it's time to. What he said, I forget the line was. He's like, it's time to bet on someone with a better hand or something like that. So we know that now that he knows that Bucky and Sam are probably making better progress than we are trying to track down the Flag Smasher.
I mean, the best parts of this episode are Baron Zemo.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was awesome. And when his music came back, man, his theme music from Civil War, and when he is you have to play this part, and when the Winter Soldier's music came back from the film, those are great beats.
Yeah, like I said, and of course there's the one moment where Zemo's wearing the purple mask, so he looks like what he looks like in the comic books.
Right.
But, the part where we hit some backstory about, it's funny because, the Jet's there and it's like, well, before you blew up my country, I was rich. And I still am rich. I am a baron. That's not exactly like that was made up or anything like that. So it's nice to, it's nice that they're filling out the character. It's nice to see, but in some ways, I really feel like he made the episode more than anybody. I mean,
he brings that new element that and then when they're in the trailer, they're in the boxcar or whatever, the container with the scientist guy who's recreated the super serum after the blip, and he's looking around and he found himself. I'm like, oh my god, he found a gun, and he brings a great vibe to this series.
Yeah, no, he's, I mean, look, both Bucky and Sam are great characters, but I kind of like the crew they're setting up. Okay, you've got Zemo, and then on occasion you'll have somebody like Sharon Carter that'll pop up. It's very clear in the next episode, whoever this person is from Wakanda will probably be a part of things for at least that episode, if not a little bit longer. And I get the impression, Rhodey will be back at some point in one of these episodes. So it's going to be interesting to see, because it's almost like they're kind of building a little team of their own. Yeah,
like a squad. Yeah, like how the Mandalorian did.
Yeah. A very similar concept that way. Mm-hmm. So they are. As a matter of fact, that's a great way of looking at it. Is there are some interesting parallels between this and the Mandalorian, and maybe that's why I'm enjoying it so much. It's like they kind of looked at the Mandalorian and said, hey, you know what? We could do that with this. Right. Or similar.
Where it's not all black and white, and you gotta, sometimes the heroes gotta get their hands dirty.
Yeah.
And it's obviously they've had to free Baron Zemo and work with him and play by his rules, and people are getting killed, and Yeah, this is excellent. I wish we get 6 more, but I don't think so. I don't think we are.
Well, but here's the thing, and I think this is the interesting part. I now understand why this was only 6 episodes, which is it's clear that they put a lot of budget into this. It's also clear with the amount of action that they put into this that it's like, look, let's be honest. I don't think that they could have afforded a longer show with what they're doing here. I mean, it just wouldn't have fit. I don't think it would have fit for a budget.
I don't recall whether or not they finished filming all this before the Rona hit.
I don't think they did.
Oh, okay. Maybe they had to finish. Yeah.
I know originally they were talking to 8, and then they moved down to 6.
Oh, okay. Maybe they did it. Maybe just they had to make things more concise. Okay.
And I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, I'm digging this. This is great. So, the other, of course, in the last news, I posted this on the Squares page. Apparently, because people are assholes and fandoms ruin everything. That the actor who plays John Walker has deleted his Instagram and Twitter accounts because of the threats by fans, in quotation marks, because of his portrayal of replacing Captain America. Just this lower faith in humanity falling. It's like it's just a TV show.
I mean, the part I don't get is, here's the part I don't get is, okay, there are some things that were done. Like when I look at something like what happened with Episode 8, with Star Wars,
that's Star Wars. Yeah, this is the closest
with Star Wars.
Yeah.
With that, I mean,
not how I wanted. It doesn't match my fan fiction.
Well, right, and I mean, there was a whole bunch of stuff that went on that really, there's a part of me where I'm like, or actually, I take it back. What makes sense is what they did with the initial pictures of what they showed of Starfire for the Titan show.
Oh yeah, I remember the shit show from that.
Where there was a shit show and she had to do all this stuff too.
Yeah.
And she didn't handle it well. And the woman who played Rose Tico and how that all went. I mean, the difference is there were some legitimate reasons. There were some poor PR and legitimate reasons why I could see some of that happening. I don't agree with some of it happening and to be doing that because it's wrong, but I at least understood it. This time, I don't get it. It's just part of the plot.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like, I mean, the only thing I can come up with is they didn't read the comics and they're MCU fans.
These are normies who love the MCU. And they don't know who John Walker is. They don't know about U.S. Agent. And now he's replacing Steve Rogers, and they hate it. But then John Walker has not been.
They don't know the reason why.
Exactly.
They hate it.
He's not always been. He's not the most likable character. He's not supposed to be.
Right. Well, and I mean, that's the part I laugh about the hard. I mean, the other problem is he really does look like what's his name from Up. I mean, he really does.
Yeah, when he's wearing the helmet, he does look like...
Wearing the helmet. I mean, he does look like...
He looks like, just give him the square glasses, yeah.
Yeah, seriously. And I've seen where they replaced the head, and they actually have the character from Up.
But with the helmet off, you do see a little bit of Kurt Russell in him.
I don't know about that. All I know is when he wears the mask, he looks like Ed Asner's character from Up, and it's hysterical. It's bad. It is like, and that's part I mean, look, let's be honest, that's part of the problem too, is they really did make him look kind of dorky in that thing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, now there's, like, I would slap really hard, and it's funny.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if you've seen it. I mean, seriously, he looks like,
But when you have this franchise, it's one of the most successful franchises in movie history, and you have this hardcore fan base, and now you see these people who don't know, obviously they're ignorant about the character, and then they see this John Walker guy step onto the scene carrying Cap's shield, and they're mad because it's not what they want. And so they have to go threaten the actor? Fuck these people.
Yeah,
here's the problem. Is it? No. See this, and this is the problem I have. Is it really? Is it? See, I don't know if I want to call them normies. I think they just might. I mean, is it really the people who are watching the shows who don't know, or is it the ones who do know and just don't like what's being done at all, or is it a lot of all of that, or is it just the usual? Hey, I'm going to go on to Twitter and I'm going to do dumb shit.
These are the usual suspects. You're just like
maybe just Twitter trolls. Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean,
the idiot mobs, that are, roaming the Twitter pages and all this other
like
shit.
the people ragging on the little girl actress who played Morgan Stark in Endgame.
What the fuck? I mean, what do these people have? I mean, what the fuck do they do all day? Is this what they do?
These keyboard warriors,
they fucking get up out of bed and they're already fucked in the head. They go ahead and they figure, well, I'm going to create this world of fuckdom so that way I can get my nuts off because I want to fuck everybody else's life up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the problem is here's the thing.
Bullshit.
I mean, here's the thing. There's a fine line between entertaining and amusing from what you get from, and I am going to basically call out Twitter because they're the worst at it.
Well,
seriously, Twitter is the worst.
Twitter's a shit show, man.
Yeah, Twitter shit show.
I agree.
Shit show called to tell you that it's insulted by the fact that you are calling Twitter a shit show because it's worse than that. I mean, it really is.
Well, it's a shit show.
Unless you're just following the Iron Sheik, then it's awesome.
Right. Look, there's some fun, there's some interesting stuff with Twitter.
Okay, I'm not saying it.
No, I agree with you. I'm just saying, yeah, Twitter is Satan's sewer. I mean, that's just the best way of explaining it.
Big cesspool, it's kind of like, this is where all the shit comes.
I mean, like the stuff like we were just talking about, where it's like he's being compared to, like the one meme I had where it was like Chicago pizza versus New York pizza.
Yeah,
and the one
pizza
picture,
in the other 9 states or whatever.
Right. Where the one where like the Chicago pizza is,
by the way, that just really got me.
Right. Or the pictures, or the pictures of him looking like the Up guy. I mean, those are funny. Those are good.
Yeah, they're legit funny. They're just amusing.
That's legit good. That's legit fun. When you start making it where a guy's miserable though, to where it's like that guy has to delete his accounts. I mean, that's just
but that's just fucked up. I mean, geez, come on, people. It just goes back to that whole sensibility of it's supposed to be entertainment. You're being entertained by this.
I am not entertained.
So you go ahead and you pay, maybe you pay your lot, but you watch the lot for free. Okay, the world does not work on your expectation of what a show's going to be unless you create the show. So, people just need to calm down, okay, and just like not make it such a thing where, you become so invested that a poor man has to take off his account and everything because he's being threatened by shit. I mean, when did people get to this kind of fucking behavior?
Because
it's all right.
Because there are people at this point where it's, how do I put this? It's like they feel they're entitled to certain things. Like, and when I say that, in terms of how their entertainment's going to work and what in terms of that. And we're seeing it all the time now. We're seeing it all the time now where it's like, oh, I didn't like the way that this was created, so everyone's gonna bitch about it. Okay. And myself included, look, I'm guilty of it too, where it's like, I look at something like Last Jedi is the best example I can. Oh, what am I saying? The Snyder Cut.
Yeah, okay. That's the biggest example of the fandom advocating a fix.
Yeah,
and it goes right back to, and they're still not satisfied. And they
here's the irony. The irony is that there is a portion satisfied. Now here's the interesting part of that. The interesting part of that is okay. So you rewarded these people with a movie.
Okay.
The movie was considered somewhat successful. Now they feel vindicated. Now they feel justified. Now they feel like they can continue to push their agenda.
Yeah.
And demand
give
other
us a sequel.
things. Yeah. Give us a sequel. Give us restore the entire Snyder universe. Do this, do that. We demand this, we demand this, we demand this. And this is what
and trying to drum up these hashtags to create this false sense of majority rule.
Right. Yeah, well, and like for example, and by the way, there's a few actors that the funny part is, and there's a few actors who are involved in actors and other people who are involved in this that would love to see this happen because it's in their best interest. Right. Like Joe Mantegna. Joe Mantegna decided to post some things recently because, technically he was supposed to play Deathstroke and they had some ideas and it didn't happen. And you know what? Hey, if this happens, I come back. I come back to play this character.
Joe Mantegna,
and that's money.
I come back as Deathstroke. How do you like that?
Yeah, that's the different one. That's a different one. That's a different character. That's a different person. But okay, yeah. But the point being is, hey, look, just like Ray Fisher, he's got a lot to gain from it. So does Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder would like to get paid to do more movies.
Right.
All of that stuff is still out there that way. And there are agendas. And not only, so yes, they'll continue to stoke a fan base. And all this stuff about where we talked the other week, where Disney's talking about dropping 7, 8, 9 as canon and redoing all of it like as an animated series and reworking the whole thing or whatever the hell they're talking about doing. And it's like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's almost like people want to have it where it's like, okay, here's the content. Here you go. Create your own, choose your own adventure. And Mark Hamill will do whatever the fuck you want him to do. But P.S., we don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, you'll eat the cost.
Yeah, we don't want to pay for it. We don't want to pay money for that. But we want,
make
we want
the fans happy, but leave us out of it.
But
unless we can make money off of it, then you're like, okay.
Hey, I'll give you another example. So WrestleMania,
we'll bring it up in distribution.
I'll give you another example. This coming weekend is WrestleMania, and my understanding is that this is going to be the first time they're going to have fans in over a year. They're going to have fans because they're doing it. I think it's Raymond James, and they're doing it, and I don't remember what the numbers are. I think they're only getting about 30,000 people in there or something like that.
What stadium?
I think they're doing it down in Tampa at the same stadium they did the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, and Florida's been open for quite a while, so.
Right, and and here's a perfect example of, and this is where I get frustrated because it's like everybody seems to want to placate. It's like it's not the same without people or the fans, and it's like, okay, so what you're telling me is that you're telling me that you can't enjoy the sport without there being fans there. Or you can't enjoy wrestling without there being fans there. I kind of enjoyed wrestling not having fans. I enjoyed it because there are a lot of people who do very, very similar things in the wrestling world as what you're talking about, the toxic fandoms and toxic shit that you see with this other stuff.
Yeah.
Where fans are, and it's live, so fans can do whatever the fuck they want and start whatever chants they want. Or start yelling about things however they want because they're live. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's called fanatic. Yeah.
And look, I'm not defending some of the WWE's choices for storylines. Some of them are absolute shit. Okay. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, where you've got people in the ring and you've got stuff, and it's like, okay, we're gonna hijack the crowd and do whatever the hell we want to do while we're just sitting there and saying do all kinds of chants because we're just going to have fun and fuck the show. Well, if you didn't think it was going to be a good show, why did you pay? Why are you paying all that money to go if it's going to be?
You're going to watch WrestleMania?
I don't think I am.
No.
I don't think I am. I mean, maybe I will. It's funny because it's on Peacock. I got to figure out if I now get that for free, if WWE Network is now free fully on Peacock or what the story is. But I don't know. Like I said, I mean, like tonight, I already heard, as we're recording this, the NCAA championships are on and people are like, oh, they should have had fans tonight. God. I mean, here's the thing that's interesting. Without fans, we get better camera angles on stuff. We get better miking on stuff. We get better angles to see things that we wouldn't normally get a chance to see because there's fans in the way. Okay? Because we have to have fans there. Okay? So we can't get close camera angles. We can't get closer to where people see, and we have to have some of the shots that we get, and we don't get them the way we would like that, where it's like we go into that for basketball, we go into that long half court where, it's the overview shot because it seems far away and it's sometimes hard. It makes it difficult, but yes, you want to be able to see everything. It's like, oh, well, what if we could do that? We could do it at, court level or a little bit lower so that we could get closer and you could get a little bit better look at things. And then we can mic the players a little bit better, again, I'm not saying I'm against fans. There's a part of me where I'm just tired because I'm noticing it's not just movies and geekdom fandoms. It's across the board.
Yeah, even professional sports.
Seems like it's just
people have just not known what it is about good sportsmanship anymore. They don't know what it is to just put it in their frame of mind. It's a game. It's a game. All right. It's
a form of entertainment.
Well,
it's something you should watch, and respect those around you and everything, and So it just
except Ivan. The irony is, for a lot of at this point, given the where things are in a lot of states, it's not just a game anymore.
Oh no, it's
personal. Not just a game. It's not even personal. Well, yeah, it's personal. You want to know why it's personal? Because I got a parlay on that. Or I got points on how many points this guy's going to score in this game, and
with the expansion of legal sports betting too.
And they're nuts off. That's what they're doing.
The amount of stuff that you can bet now, the amount of stuff that you can bet right now is insane. And when I say that, you can bet on literally. You can bet on how there's the one guy from Gonzaga who's supposedly this great star. It's like you can bet on how many points he's going to score in the championship game. You can get that. They'll make a number for you, and they'll give you odds for it. And if he makes it, he makes it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. It's at that level. We used to joke about
$50 the Smales kid picks his nose.
Yeah, well, we're getting there.
Yeah.
What am I saying? Getting? We're there.
Yeah. There's sirens.
For example, we used to joke about the Super Bowl prop bets where it's like who's gonna score more points tonight, Michael Jordan or Peyton Manning, Michael Jordan versus Peyton Manning touchdowns. Yeah. We used to joke about what does those numbers look like about?
I remember one time my dad's friend won a bet with a guy he made on a plane flying to Las Vegas that the fridge would make a touchdown at the Super Bowl, and he did. So my dad's friend won a bet in that. So people bet on everything now. Not just the.
I still remember. I'm kicking myself. I was working at Sporting News, and there were guys out in Vegas, and I could have made the bet. Devin Hester to run one back was 8-1, and I'm not talking about the initial kickoff, first person to score, or anything like that. Okay, just Devin Hester to run one back was 8-1, and I was positive that was going to happen. I was really tempted to give somebody $50, and if I had done so, I'd have made $400 on that thing. Wow. I'll give you better. Devin Hester to be the first person to score was 50-1.
Yep, that's the opening drive.
I wasn't gonna take that bet.
Yeah.
But somebody did, And if they put a good amount of money on it, I mean, but again, that was the Super Bowl. Now you can do it for every game.
Yeah.
Every game.
On every premise, man. I mean,
on every sport.
Yeah.
On every sport. Yep.
So your answer is it is gotten personal.
Well, yeah, not only that, man, then people are like, oh, well, we got a gambling problem. Now look what we really got.
Well, that's their disclaimer, all these ads for all this sports betting. Then there's a gambling problem, call 1-800 blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could go for a while.
We're good.
Hello.
I mean, we could go, we could go for a while talking about, where that's basically bolstered the sports media business.
Yeah.
Is all this gambling stuff.
If they can't get people in the stands, at least they can,
Well, they can go ahead and make money another way.
I mean, sports radio, the amount of gambling ads on sports radio in the Chicago market
is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
every other ad.
FM, yeah.
Every other ad.
Yeah.
Was
it around here? DraftKings is the one I hear all the time.
Yeah, well, no, and the local ones, and what is it? Rivers has Rivers. Right. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, to give perspective, they launched on CBS or Audacity or whatever the hell they're calling themselves now. Launched Odyssey or whatever the hell they're calling themselves. Launched a specific channel. I don't know if it was for Chicago or national, where a specific radio channel, where it's all about sports gambling, not just sports radio gambling.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the states want it now because then they can get their cut, and then that's a form of revenue
absolutely.
for them. Which is why it's becoming legalized.
Uh-huh.
Right. Well, that was always the whole thing, but yeah, I mean, I remember working in Sporting News Radio back in the mid 2000s when the offshore stuff was going on and it hadn't been put in check yet, and I mean, there were a ton of sportsbook and casino ads that we were putting in all the time. It's more than that now. I mean, it's more than back then before they cut that all back. I mean, it's even more than that now. I mean, it's just insane. But yeah, to your point, Ivan and Mike, yeah, it is. I hate to say it, it has gotten personal, and
the fans, this increasing, like you said, increasing sense of entitlement with the fans and the media that they tend to enjoy and they ingest.
Right, and huge levels.
Yeah.
I mean, you got some of these cats, they're putting 8 to 10 to 12, maybe 14 hours a day just watching, television screens and monitors and watching things on computer, all the internet action. You got people, they just, they sit there, they're on Benny's and everything, they're up for days watching this shit and just checking out all the numbers. I mean, and coming at them in record time and space. It's nuts, man. And then now that that's that sensibility, that it's like, oh, okay, yeah, well, we do the gambling for this. Well, now we can just gamble on everything. People be gambling on all kinds of things,
Yeah.
Wonder if we're gonna have legalized betting for MCU film plot twists, flavor twists.
Flavor twists. Yep.
Hey, you know what? There are. I don't think it's in the States. I think it's overseas. But you can get bets on WWE. There are bets on WWE for stuff. And it's interesting because there have been a couple times where it's gotten out where they had to stop a few bets because somebody had insider information and put money down on some things. And it's like, we're not paying out on that for these people and stuff like that. That stuff's gotten out. But, I mean, I don't know. It's a fine line. I mean, I certainly want them to listen to the fans and what the fans have to say. But when the fans get to this level, what point is it? What point is it? It's wait a minute. Where are we at?
The customer is not always right. Yeah.
Where's the line? Where's the line? Where do we stop?
Leave the writing to the writers, not the majority of fans that want what they want.
Well, but I mean that's the part that's even crazy.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, okay.
No, okay, Ivan, go ahead.
No.
Mike, what you got? No, go ahead.
Mana. Okay. Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
Well, the only thing I was going to say is, to your point, Mike, which is leave the writers do the writing.
Yeah.
And how many YouTube videos are there of people who decided that they were going to go out and literally, I mean, because there's cottage industry for this, where it's like, hey, we're going to make our own Batman film. We're going to go out and make our own 10-minute Batman film.
There's this analysis community too. Back in the late 90s and 2000s, like the early days of YouTube, where people was more people wanted to get more collaborative. But I think now it's just a bunch of analysts on YouTube trying to get likes and clicks and shares about their opinion of what they like. It's like I went over to a friend's house the other day, and he's talking to this little kid is watching YouTube channels, videos about
aliens.
The Martians have landed in Chicago.
Yeah. Wait, they left. I saw Ivan.
Yeah, man, I'm going for a ride. I'll see you in an hour.
Yeah.
I'm going to get some more flavor twists.
Let me get my satchel. Come on, Leon, man, let's
get
go.
the satchel. I lost my train of thought.
Got it right. You guys can play 78s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With lasers.
Yeah. Big honking lasers.
With sharks with freaking laser beams on them.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so
now I can think about is Ivan DJing with sharks with freaking lasers behind him.
Sharks with laser beams.
Wow.
If you want to watch Ivan DJ, he's on twitch.tv at Java and Ivan.
But there's not going to be any sharks or lasers.
No sharks or laser beams on twitch.tv, doing the Twitch with Rock Roll and his devil dodo eggs.
They're not giving you that.
Yeah. Jeff is on Steinemite Productions at Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube. You can follow this show on your usual podcast hosting platforms, Google, Apple, Spotify, Anchor. We're on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe, when to get new content. Follow us on Facebook. And, of course, we have our side hustle, News of the Squared. You can follow all our wacky stories. And then send us an email if you like. You can contact us that way. SOTRTpodcast at gmail.com. And, Jeff's on Steinemite Productions. Ivan's on Twitch. Mike's on vacation. Leave him the fuck alone. Thank you. Well, of course, next week I'll have my report about DairyCon. Yeah.
Boo.
So, okay. That'll do. Episode
is that, 114. Wait, is that moo or is that boo?
Moo.
Boo.
Okay.
As in cow, going to Dairyland.
It sounds like boo. I'm like, why are you booing?
Rubbish, slime, filth.
Why?
Boo.
Oh, you're just a toxic fan.
More toxic fans, yeah. Right. Catch you all next week.